healing it somewhat through meditation as well as safe connection, would you say, Dr. Mark?
Mm-hmm. Well, what meditation does, it calms down your limbic system, so now you can regulate affect better, and you can negotiate better, and you have better communications with other people.
Right.
You know, as I go around the country, the biggest thing I keep hearing is organizations, industries, schools not being able to solve problems because they can't negotiate well. And they get off on power trips that interferes with all of this. And so, and I know it in big corporations, I know it in families, and I know it almost even in individuals.
Power.
And, you know, one of the things that in both of my books I have is that religion historically was the way that people learned how to do that.
Right.
And we have kind of said, well, we don't even want to talk about that because psychology and psychiatry, it just confuses it. But, you know, there's been big changes in recent years. The American Psychological Association has produced a two-volume set. In fact, it's right in front of me right here. And the title of it is, because sometimes I mess this up, the APA Handbook of Psychology, Religion, and Spirituality. That could not have been produced even 10 years ago.
Wow.
And so even amongst scientific people, they see religion as having value. There's a big book that I make reference to in my book on anger control on affect regulation. And there's a whole chapter in that book now on how religion is one of the ways that we teach people to regulate it.
Yes.
And and the whole issue of spirituality. You know, I studied under Abe Maslow, 1965.
Abe Maslow
said what's wrong with American psychology is we haven't paid enough attention to the spiritual needs of man. It's kind of interesting, you know, how even in drug treatment, that's come out, spiritual dimension. And so it's very interesting as a result that the American Psychological Association is now recognizing that and pulling together 50 years of research on spirituality and psychology. So it's that's really encouraging to me also.
Yes.
But not only that, I'm able to speak about this stuff without worrying that I'm going to get reported to some organization.
Wow. Wow. So the book is the APA, American Psychological Association Handbook of Psychiatry, Religion...
No, of psychology, religion,
and spirituality. Right, psychology,
it's a
religion.
two-volume set, and it's thousands of pages. And it basically, if you read through all of that, and I haven't read every word, but I've read a lot of it, it basically says that people who have religion are less bothered with anxiety and depression because of that spiritual dimension. And,
right.
you know, Abe Maslow was right. And, you know, it's interesting. The business world accepted Maslow better than the psychological world.
Oh, the hierarchy of needs and...
Right.
And
that really made its inroads into a lot of the industrial applications.
Well, for salespeople, right? The hierarchy of needs,
yes.
What to speak to the need,
right.
What do people need? Yeah.
Well, if you don't take care of your need for survival first,
right,
you can't take care of your need for connecting to other people.
Right.
It just won't be there. And on top of that, Maslow said, is the need for spirituality.
Right. And when you're on the top of the pinnacle,
to be a complete man, you have to take care of all of those needs. Right.
Right. When you are a peak performer or a self-actualized person, you live your life more through a spiritual lens.
Right.
Yeah. And so if we look at it very simply, the most basic is survival, food, clothes, shelter, oxygen, breath, and then connection, sense of belonging, self-esteem, moving into spirituality.
You know, one of the interesting things that I talk about in both of my books and workshops is the work of Herbert Benson at Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
And Herbert Benson puts great emphasis on our belief system.
Besides progressive relaxation, which he's so famous for. Yeah.
Right. But he says even the picking of a mantra for meditation has to fit our belief system.
Right.
And so it's really interesting because all of this stuff kind of fits together. Huh?
Yeah, it does. Wow. Now, I was instructed by a friend who had taken transcendental meditation, that and they had this whole mystique around the mantra, and everyone had their own individual mantra, and you shouldn't tell your mantra to anyone; it would dilute it. And she said, basically, it's just a sound with no particular meaning, but a sound that is pleasant to you. So I just chose one. I chose Shering. And she looked at me and she said, that's almost exactly my mantra. And so I really didn't know that about Benson, how much of it has to do with the belief system.
Right.
So,
you know, in one of my books, or both of my books, I have information on using words from Scripture as mantras.
Right.
And the back of the book on calming the brain has an appendix on that. But I also go into that at the end of the book on the anger control. In fact, what I do is say, anger almost always starts in the family. And therefore, to heal the family, you need to get people to meditate together as a family. And I have step-by-step kind of, method how to do that in the back of the anger control book.
Wow. That's the thing. And what would be kind of an easy mantra that people could hear now, and or maybe a couple that you like and use themselves? Well,
actually, my best mantra that I use all the time is simply the word Jesus. For some people, it might be the word peace. If people are Christians, it might be a phrase from the Psalms, New Testament, Old Testament, maybe even.
Yes. It could even be a phrase.
Right. I use different ones. To me, my belief system is very much around nature or religion. And so my mantras tend to be either words from the scriptures or words from nature. And both of which work for me. And some days I use one and some days others.
Right. So Jesus, peace, love, forgiveness, maybe.
Oh, yes. Those are all very good possibilities.
So I breathe in love, I breathe out forgiveness, something like that. And really, as you say, not only whatever pleases you, but you can change it. You can keep changing it around.
Right.
And you just go back to that word. If you feel distracted, you just go back to that word.
Right. And when I can't do this, I don't feel right.
Oh.
It also balances my life. If I can't ride my bike and meditate for some reason, it snowed today here, but at any rate, so I didn't get out today. But then I go to my bedroom, and I have a painting of mine that I painted many years ago, and that I just focus on the painting and repeating a mantra. And in that case, it usually is the word Jesus. So
focus on a painting.
But if I can't do that, my life isn't balanced right.
Right. If you don't do it, you're. I like how you say my life isn't balanced right, rather than say I'm unbalanced. It's interesting, right? The choice of words.
Well, you have to have the center of your being.
Right.
You have to be there.
Yeah, you have to.
And the world keeps trying to distract you from that.
Right. And by the way, it's very warm where I am. So there's all different climates all over the world, and so we're in different parts of the world, and it was a really warm day today for me. So snow, warm, wherever we are, we're always right here. We're always right here. So from the center of our world. And you had written, and we have to close, but about how what Maslow said about people who meditate regularly. They're spontaneous, they're self-accepting, accepting of others, they're appreciative. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Well, Dr. Mark Beischel, and we can get your both books on Amazon, I expect?
That's right.
Okay, so Beischel is spelled Beischel. Dr. Mark Beischel, Beischel. Calming the brain and anger control. And you have a website. Let's see. Do you have a website, Dr. Mark?
No, I really don't.
Okay. All right. Well, we have your name, and we know where you are, and we know your book titles. Thank you so much, Doc.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's been delightful.
Delightful is the word.
Talking to you.
Thank you. And this is Dr. Duffy Spencer saying goodbye for now, and wishing you great relationships.